So right away, I can tell that has more spin on it, right?
Yeah.
That was an absolute treat.
Yeah, 18 launch, 5100 spin.
Launch, spin.
You didn't, and even for the loft being a bit different, you didn't sacrifice much carry distance either.
No.
You know what's the funny thing? People always hear, 2 degrees weaker. They think that's shorter. In some cases, it actually be longer because it stays in the air longer, right?
Yeah. All right, guys, welcome back to Cobra HQ here in Carlsbad. We've had an unbelievable day learning about the new product for next year. We've been really focused so far on, obviously, the new woods. New fitting sleeve, Future Fit 33, incredible innovation. But we're going to talk right now about the brand new DS-ADAPT. Talk to us a little bit about this, Andrew.
Yeah, so DS-ADAPT, that's going to be our game improvement iron. Again, it's going to fit, as we know, but that's where most or the golfers we fit handicap-wise fall into this range.
Right.
It's going to be our strongest lofted, one of our more upright irons for players that need that. Also new for 2025, we're adding a DS-ADAPT Max iron. So over the years and across the industry, game improvement irons have got stronger in loft.
Yeah.
Again, we've as engineers have learned how to lower CG and get the ball in the air without loft. Not every golfer fits into a 27-degree 7-iron. So the DS-ADAPT Max irons, they're going to be 2 degrees weaker at 29 degrees. So today we're going to test, this type of iron probably wouldn't suit you. It's not the type of iron you would play, but we want to show off the difference in performance between the DS-ADAPT and the DS-ADAPT Max and which golfers would fit into each one.
Yeah, I think sometimes, I feel like I have decent speed. I have decent face to path control. But I think what we've seen today is strike can be a big variable. And, I think people should understand that if you've got those things, maybe an iron with a little bit more forgiveness and real estate is something that you could look at from time to time. Obviously, if we're looking at the strike precision that the really elite players have, then obviously play something that's going to give you other attributes. But when it comes to these types of irons, the game improvement irons, it's definitely something that, if you need a little bit more speed, if you need a little bit more sort of forgiveness on the strikes, why not? Why not give it a try?
Yeah, I'd be curious to get your feedback on the looks, sound, and feel of this iron. Golfers in this category, they've gotten pickier on looks, sound, and feel. Where traditionally, game improvement irons are hollow, they can be loud, they can be large. I think we've done a really good job with this one with the shaping, especially with the sound.
Totally. Okay, let's dive into it. We've got a 27-degree 7-iron here.
Correct.
29 on the Max. We've got it set with mass shaft in there. Let's see what this does, and let's see if it performs with all the attributes that we'd want a 7-iron. That's ultimately where I think these tests either stand up or fall down. Does it still behave like a 7-iron? Does it still get those attributes? So let's see if that's the case.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Okay. Yeah, one thing I'll say to address, it's not the most offset iron I've ever seen in this category. Okay. That's for sure. And it's been a conscious effort by the design team to make it more appealing. Is that fair to say? Yeah,
it's funny, golfers, a lot of high handicap golfers, they're obsessed with offset. They think, they don't need offset. So we try to keep the offset there, but visually make it look like it has less offset.
Right.
Whereas most golfers in this category actually do need the offset.
Yeah. Okay.
Good one out of the gate.
Yeah, it was probably better than I thought it was going to be, to be honest. Felt better.
Strike.
What do you think of that sound?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so this is a hollow body construction, but still has that microsphere foam in there to help with that sound and feel.
I like that. I like that a lot. Better.
Another good one.
Sounds so good.
Felt like the best one there.
Yeah, for the loft of this iron, it's getting up in the air.
Spin at 57.
Good.
56, sorry. Really good.
Yeah, your last one was 46.5 land angle. That was 48. When I'm fitting people, you'll hear a lot of people, they always talk about loft, right? They say, well, the loft's 27 degrees, and they look at the spin. 20 years ago, a 7-iron would spin at 7,000. That's not the case anymore, right? So a lot of times when we're fitting these stronger lofted game improvement irons, I look at land angle or peak height, right? So anyone with decent amount of speed with a 7-iron, we want to be between that 45 and 50 degree range. So that's got plenty of stopping power. That was over 100 feet in the air, 48 degree land angle. So that's going to stop on the green.
And not center punch by any means. Right. A little bit low in the head, if anything. A little bit into the turf for that one.
Oi.
Maybe a little. It's more heavy than anything else. Done well though.
Sounding good too.
Sounds impressive. Again, we've said earlier this morning, we've tested irons in the past in this category that are high pitch, really rough sounding.
It's a real challenge, isn't it? It's a real
Definitely
challenge.
acoustics for sure.
Especially if you're really trying to kind of float that face to a degree. I mean, I know we've got some sort of foam behind the face here to support it, but really it is, PowerShell is a floated face, and when you sort of give the compliance, you're kind of going to get a little bit of that vibration that's going to end up in the sound, and yeah, the construction's really trying to sort of mitigate that.
Yeah, it's hard to make something forgiving and fast. It needs to be hollow, multi-material construction. You look at like a forged blade, the reason that sounds and feels good is because it's solid, right? So again, the engineers have done a really good job with this to make it perform well, but still sound and feel really good.
Okay, hit one more and then let's head into the max. Really keen to see what that does.
Really good again.
Yeah, felt really nice.
And again, it's getting up in the air, it's stopping. If we look at
Plenty of speed on it.
Tons
It's
of speed, yeah.
really good.
if you look at the average, 47-degree land angle and 35 yards peak. So we're over 100 feet and it's coming down steep, right? So
Definitely.
again, this iron might not be the type of iron that you would play,
Yeah.
but it's still getting up in the air and it's coming down the right amount of land angle. When we go to the max, hopefully we see a little more launch, a little more spin, a little higher peak height. Again, you're probably in a pretty good spot, but not everyone's going to fit into this 27-degree
Right.
7 iron. So players with lower speed, maybe they're a little more shallow, they hit a drum and spin it less, this isn't going to work for them. So now having that 2-degree weaker max head will get them that into that launch and spin window we're looking for.
All right, so let's hit one at a little bit more of the speed, just to show, like, obviously speed being the thing that's creating the height here and obviously giving us kind of the right amount of spin, etc. Let's take a little bit that way. Let's kind of demonstrate a touch of that, just because I think once we get to the max, it will show the importance of having the max at that sort of, call it average
Get
golfer
Mikey in
speed.
there to swing.
No, you don't need to see that.
So I think a little bit more in the speed in the realm of the average golfer, 80 miles an hour. So we see a little bit of that flight, coming down now. That turned over a little bit more.
Spin comes down a bit.
Yep.
Still plenty of distance.
Yeah. Angle of descent 41. Plenty of distance.
A little flat.
Yeah, a little flat. And I think that's where, if we kind of stay here for a little bit, in terms of the heads, and we'll switch over heads now, stay here with the swing speed for a second, I think we can really see the value of the max.
Yeah, and I always tell people too, like, in this fitting environment, right, we got a perfect lie, perfect golf ball, right? If you're spinning it too low there and you get outside in the golf course, you got some dew in the ball, you get in the first cut, it's going to be even lower than that, right?
Okay, different animal. Different animal. Wider sole. Obviously, here comes the offset. Top line. Different.
It's bigger, right?
Yeah.
This is really like, we're kind of more in the super game improvement category here.
Right.
Again, now as we're getting even into the higher handicaps, that's kind of when I feel like people get less picky on looks and feel. They're strictly looking for performance. They need height, they need forgiveness, they need distance.
Not as big as, remember you had that hybrid iron,
The T-rail?
the T-rail?
Yeah.
You can see from back here how much wider that toe section is.
So right away I can tell that has more spin on it, right?
Yeah.
That was an absolute treat. It really was.
Yeah, 18 launch, 5100 spin.
Launch, spin.
You didn't, and even for the loft being a bit different, you didn't sacrifice much carry distance either.
No.
You know what's the funny thing? People always hear, 2 degrees weaker, they think that's shorter. In some cases, it actually be longer because it stays in the air longer, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And better gapping and all that stuff, important.
So nice.
Really nice.
Could go in.
A nice thing too, like I don't really think the sound has changed too much.
No, that's been the nice thing. So in the past, we always had our inline irons. We had the Dark Speed, we had the Aerojet. We had our other family, the AirX family. And it was similar to this, weaker, but you didn't get all the tech. So now with the Dark Speed Adapt Max, you're getting all the technology, the PowerShell face, the foam that's in the mainline DS-ADAPT, but now you get it in this package with the weaker loft and the bigger profile.
I always say to people, if you can get into the territory where in terms of the peak height, you can match the peak height to your club head speed with
Yeah, I've
a
always said that
kind of
too, yeah.
mid-iron. That's a lovely spot to be in. So they're at 81 feet and 82 miles an hour, just matching that really, really nicely. And that's with a draw pattern, right?
Right.
A lot of players we're going to see in the bay who get into this are going to go the other way. So let's see if we can do a little bit of that.
Oh, it's got some spin on it.
Yep.
Fine.
Yeah, so right around our 80 miles an hour again. 5600s, launch up to 20.
Yeah.
And we're going to see
Yeah,
a
there you
lot
go.
of players starting to kind of bring those delivery characteristics.
There you go. Your land angle's up to that 45.
Yeah.
So again, at a lower speed of 80 miles an hour, 45 is probably where you need. You can't, you're not going to be at 50 degrees land angle at 80 miles an hour. You could at 90 miles an hour, but at that speed, that's an acceptable amount of stopping power.
Just, I think the addition, and we've kind of talked about this, we've seen, certainly one other company that I can think of kind of acknowledge the need for a club like this. So it is really nice to see from a fitting perspective, because like we had run out a runway really for this type of game improvement iron. Loft had gotten so strong, we didn't really have anywhere to go, and we're pulling all the levers we can with golf ball and okay, let's do this with your swing and that with your swing, but we couldn't just let someone be who they were and flight the ball really, really nicely. But I really feel like we can with this one.
Yeah, and to have someone try it in the bay, whereas before, we would try different shafts, and I've always been a big believer in going to a higher launching, higher spinning shaft. It's never going to drastically move someone up to where we need them to. It's really going to come from the loft. But before, we couldn't have them hit a 2 degree weaker head. They had to believe me and say, you need 2 degrees weaker, we're just going to do it that way. Now they can hit the max head, see the difference in launch, see the difference in spin, and actually see the difference, right?
Love it. Excellent stuff. Cool. Okay, guys, a slightly different test, obviously really delving into the game improvement market, which obviously is a large segment in the market who I think watch our videos and certainly are going to be looking at what's going to help their game. I mean, ultimately, the low handicappers are out there figuring it out, for themselves and kind of making what they want to see happen. And the higher handicapper, I think, is the one who really is going to want to pay attention to what's the nuance that can really extract more performance for me. And I think that's where these two irons join, obviously, the King Black Edition family, the Forged and Forged Tech and Forged Tech X as well, gives us 7 irons. We've talked about options today from Cobra Golf for 2025. The wood line's really impressive, as is the iron line.
We can fit anyone from tour level, scratch handicap, all the way down to the super game improvement category.
Yeah.
And everything in between. And you talked about, the family. A lot of these irons blend in together. We see a lot of combo sets. All the irons, look and feel kind of similar, very family-like.
It must feel pretty good to be at Cobra HQ right now.
Exciting times.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that vibe from the office all day today. That what is about to be unveiled, and by the time you guys see this is the unveiling. The sort of level of satisfaction. So a lot of proud people in the building, and rightly so. It's something I always do when we see great product. Is I think on behalf of fitters and fitting companies, we've got to thank the people who make that happen and make our job and your job and our job easier when it gets in the bay, because the fitter faces the music, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether there's great options or it's a bit of a struggle. The fitter's the one that's got to face the music, and you guys are in for a real treat for 2025. So hope you sort of see the breadth of the options the way that we do. Hopefully there's something in this. We actually have some videos we've not recorded yet, but you guys will see it first with the new King Tech and the X, and obviously the Black Edition, which is just absolutely stunning to look at as well. So lots and lots to get excited about for 2025. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.